Shalom. This is Shalamar from the Great Millstone Atlanta Camp. Before I get started in this lesson, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone that teach and rule well. Peace, love, and safety to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, who are today you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, so-called. All right. And also to the Israelite foreigners, to you I say Shalom, the Israelite foreigners, or the Israelites that look like the other nations, but their bloodline goes back to Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, or the 12, which are the 12 tribes of Israel. All right, because our people are scattered in all lands, speaking all languages. All right. So right now, they show you that the Israelites, or they call them Jews, are the people that's over in Israel right now. And one thing about this devil, who is Esau Edom, devil means deceiver, the one that's deceiving the whole world. One thing about Esau Edom, the so-called white man, he gets on TV and try and explain the scriptures and replace Israel with Israeli. There's a difference. Israeli is a citizen of the land of Israel. All right, and none of the Israelites, well, there may be some Israelites over there that are real Israelites that are citizens, but for the most part, none of those people over there are real Israelites. They don't go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Esau. All right. And those guys are actually from the Amalekites. So this lesson is titled "When We Get Back," because hey, you look around, it's chaos everywhere. Everything is out of order, and people are angry. And it's like that because we're in the last days. The Israelites, the real Israelites, are getting ready to return. But when we finally return, people are going to flow to us. All right. All these other nations, they're going to come to us for, we're going to be their salvation. Our salvation is the one who you call Jesus. His real name is Yahweh Shah, and he's a large so-called black man. That's our salvation. All right. We're going to be the salvation for you other nations, because you're going to need leadership. Your lands are going to be destroyed. Not totally destroyed, but it's going to need to be rebuilt. You're going to need laws to follow. You're going to see the perfection of the real Israelites, and you're gonna want to be down with us, pretty much. So I'm gonna start out with Zechariah chapter 8. I'm gonna start at verse 22. It says, "Yea, many people and strong nations shall come to seek the Lord Yahweh of hosts in Jerusalem, and to pray before the Lord." Now, Jerusalem is not talking about the actual city. It's a people. All right. Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. Because right now you don't have many nations going over there to pray with the so-called Israelis. Verse 23, it says, "Thus said the Lord Yahweh of hosts, in those days it shall come to pass that 10 men shall take hold out of all languages of the nations, even shall take hold of the skirt of him that is a Jew, saying," and Jew is just short for Judah. In the Hebrew, that's Yahweh, and it means Yahweh thinks. And that's the name of the Lord, Yahweh. All right. So it's Yahweh in the Hebrew, and it says, "We will go with you, for we have heard that the Most High is with you." Right. And they're going to see it. They're not just going to hear it. They're going to see it also. They're going to see the power in us. They're going to see how the Lord is dealing with us. They're going to see how the Lord destroyed all of these other nations just to save his people. All right, because if you allow Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, to continue to rule along with these other not Edomite, these other heathen nations, the world will be, the earth will be destroyed. It's already being destroyed. But you're going to have Israel there to put everything back in order, starting with the Most High, of course, Yahweh. Then up under Yahweh, you're going to have Yahweh Shah, who is our Savior. All right. Then you're going to have top men, King David, who's going to be back in the kingdom. And then you're going to have the 144,000, the elect, which is going to be pretty much the army of Yahweh Shah. And then you're going to have the 1/3 that was saved. And then you're going to have the Israelites that came back that were destroyed through reincarnation. So it's going to be levels to the kingdom. All right, let's go to Micah chapter 4. And this is pretty much the main topic of this lesson, because when we return, everything is going to be perfect. The Lord is going to make Israel perfect. Right now, we're terrible. We're a terrible people. What the scriptures call us, "O nation not desired." No one likes us. We don't even like ourselves. All right. But look at you so-called Israelis. Everyone look at you like you're the chosen people. You own everything, and you're ruling the world in wickedness. And your land is constantly at war. Your country is constantly at war. You're at war right now. You're getting bomb shot on you right now. Why is that? Because you're in control of everything. And the Lord said he was going to make war with Amalek from generation to generation. All right, this is Micah chapter 4, verse 1. It says, "But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord Yahweh shall be established, and the top of the mountains." All right, and the mountains are known as governments. So Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah's government, is going to be above all these other governments. And Yahweh Shah, who the world calls Jesus, he's going to bring these other governments low. Because the Lord is he's going to gather all these nations and destroy their armies. Once their armies are destroyed, they have no power. All right, it says, "And it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall float into it." Verse 2, "And many nations shall come and say, Come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord Yahweh, and to the house of the power of Jacob. And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord Yahweh from Jerusalem." All right, so this is going to be Israel getting these other nations in order. Because right now, you all have your nukes, your atomic bombs and all of these different type of missiles. You ready to go to war. You setting up different currencies for trade and money. Everybody's in a fight to get rich and have power. But it don't supposed to be like that. Every man supposed to be able to live in his land and live off of his land and trade resources with other nations. But it's not like that. But it will be like that when we come back. Verse 3, "And he shall judge among many people and rebuke strong nations afar off. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. All right. Is that going on now? No, because the wicked is in power. The wicked is in power right now. The real Israelites are still in the land of their captivities. The real Israelites are still waking up knowing that they're Israelites. All right. And we have a long ways to go. But as chaos continues to unfold in this place, our people are going to continue to wake up. It's like right now, it's like Israel is rising and the heathens are falling. That's the only reason you other nations are in power right now over Israel. It's because the Lord is punishing Israel. All right, just think you're in the just look at it as a business or a corporation. You have the owner, and then you have like the president of the business. You know, you got the CEO, you got the owner, and then you have like a president, the one that's over everything, or you know, whatever type of management title he has. And then you have the workers. So the president does something out of order from what the owner told him to do, and the owner's like, "Well, I'm gonna punish you, and these other 18 workers, I'm gonna put them in charge. They're gonna be over you. They're gonna pretty much do what they want to do, but I already know they're gonna do a terrible job. They're gonna pretty much destroy this place." But before they can do that, I'm going to bring you back. Once your punishment is over, I'm going to bring you back, and you're going to run this business like it's supposed to be ran, and you're going to learn your lesson. That's how the Lord is doing all people. And that's how he's doing these other nations. But these other nations, they don't want to lose that position. So what are they going to do? They're going to fight. All right. And that's what they're doing now. They fighting each other. They fighting over who's going to be the biggest power. And right now, America, which is Babylon the Great, which was the biggest power, is now falling. This place is falling fast as hell, man. This place is falling fast. It's like if you were to I can't really think of a good example, but hey, you already see what's going on. Your dollar is worth nothing. Money is nothing. All right, money is not worth it. You go to work and you say you earn the same pay that you did 2 years ago, but your bills are double. Your food is double. You know, your gas is going up. Things that you're buying, it costs a lot more than what you can make. You're not getting an increase in pay, but you're getting an increase in payments and payouts. That lets you know this place is crumbling. And soon people are going to resort to violence just to eat, just to have a place to sleep. A lot of people are not going to be able to sleep. All because the Edomites are in rulership right now. And most of all, the top Edomites are the Amalek, the so-called Jewish people right now. I call them Jewish. You wish you was who you say you are. All right. It says, verse 4, but they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid, for the mouth of the Lord of hosts has spoken it. Right. You can't even be a nation over in say you're in say you're somewhere over on the continent of Africa, or so-called Africa. All right, and your land has, so as a matter of fact, Uganda just found out they have all this gold. All right, and just think that, the place is beautiful. They have all this gold. The people are beautiful. The place. I'm just, I'm not saying that these are not facts. The fact is they do have a lot of gold, but I'm just throwing extra stuff in there. They have all these other things that are attractive to these other nations: resources, money, all of these things. You think they can sleep at night? The top people in the government, if they don't have an army to protect them, you think they can sleep comfortable at night? No, because they fear that the so-called white man is going to come in and steal everything like he's been doing. That's what this is talking about. I'm gonna read verse 4 again. But they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid, for the mouth of the Lord Yahweh of hosts has spoken it. Verse 5. For all people will walk every one in the name of his power, and we will walk in the name of the Lord Yahweh all power forever and ever. And this is gonna be an everlasting thing. It's not gonna be, America's been in power for the last, 300 years or whatever, and the power is gonna be passed to us. We're gonna be in power for 300 years. And then it's going to go over to the Hamites. They're going to be in power for 300 years, so-called Africans. Then it's going to go to the so-called Chinese, which is Moab. They're going to be in power for, 300-400 years or whatever. No, it's not going to. Israel is going to be in power forever after this. Verse 6, in that day, said the Lord Yahweh, I will assemble her that halted, and I will gather her that is driven out, and her that I have afflicted. All right, and that her is talking about Israel. And that's letting you know that we're going to be gathered back together, because right now we're dispersed out in all of these other lands and nations. Verse 7, and I will make her that halted a remnant, and her that was cast far off a strong nation, and the Lord shall reign over them in the mountain of Zion from henceforth even forever. Yeah, man, this is gonna be an everlasting salvation that we're about to receive. Lord's willing, I'm part of that number, and those that are listening and that's taking heed to this word, the hopeful elect. Lord's willing, the Lord is gonna come back. And we're going to be part of that number that actually see all of this happen. See the fall of Babylon. See all of these other nations get put in check. All right. And it talks about that also in Isaiah chapter 14. Israel going back to their own land. Then it goes back. It talks about ancient Babylon, but it talks about, at the same time, it talks about the rulers of this world, this current world. All right, because the Lord, He set up these other nations for a reason. Everyone has had their chance, but now it's time for Israel to have their rulership, and it's going to last forever because the Lord just chose us to be those people. Okay, so I'm going to end it right there. I pray that this was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to my elders and apostles, a great millstone that taught us His truth, and shalom to the elect.